evidence, and she joins us now. Claire, some very disturbing evidence heard today in court.
Yeah, there has been, and at one point, while we were hearing a pretty graphic description of how it's alleged Caitlin Parkins was murdered, some of her relatives actually left the courtroom because they were so upset by what they were hearing. In the words of the prosecution, Lee Nolan was caught red-handed with a body in the boot of his car. And as you say, he admits that he killed his victim, but the jury has been told that he will claim diminished responsibility, saying that he was suffering from a mental abnormality, saying that he was intoxicated by a mixture of drink and drugs. The prosecution, though, is arguing that when the father of four used the cable from a set of hair straighteners to strangle his victim, it was murder, and that he's been manipulative, that he's lied to the police in order to try and avoid responsibility for his actions.
The court has been hearing, though, that he showed Caitlin's body to someone after he had killed her.
That's right, we heard evidence from a man called Gary Charlson. Now, he says that he's an acquaintance rather than a friend of Lee Nolan, and it was actually him who phoned the police to alert them to what had happened. He said, to begin with, when Lee Nolan told him that there was a body in the car, he didn't believe it, but that then the defendant pulled down the back seat and that he saw the hand and arm of a woman sticking out from underneath a bedspread.
And there was more detail from another person who he'd apparently told about what he'd done.
Yeah, this was a friend of Lee Nolan's. She says that he turned up at her house, that he was clearly agitated, he was sweating. She thought he was high as a kite. Those are the words that she used. And she told police that he gave her a detailed account of what had happened, using his hands to gesture how he'd killed his victim, saying that Caitlin was struggling, that she was convulsing, that she turned purple. And the court has also been told that when Caitlin's body was put into the boot of the car, that cable from her hair straighteners was still wrapped tightly around her neck. This trial is expected to last about 3 weeks.
Claire, thank you very much. Our reporter, Claire Fallon.
Police say a woman has been left traumatised after being hit by a bottle thrown during a fight in Liverpool. Detectives want to speak to these 5 men who they believe can help with an investigation. A fight broke out between 2 groups of men at Heebie-Jeebies on Seal Street in December. The woman was left with a deep cut to her forehead.
Patients suspected of having lung cancer will get a diagnosis in 7